Hey there guys, I decided that I was going to make some videos for you to help you start home brewing or something like that. There's so many things to talk about. So this is just going to be a brief overview of some of the equipment you need. I started off brewing in my kitchen with pots and stuff I already had, although that didn't last very long and it was very frustrating and it made a huge mess, and it's a good way to really piss off your wife. So I don't recommend that for very long, but I do recommend you do it once, at least before you start throwing money at doing something like this, because there's a lot of money to be thrown at something like this. So, with that being said, if you have a large pot and a little bit of know-how and an internet connection, you should be able to figure out how to make something that resembles beer in a short period of time. So, what you're going to want to start off with is some clean water, or tap water, or whatever you want to use. I use reverse osmosis filtered water. That goes into a liquor tank. The liquor tank heats your water to a desired temperature, so it's good to have an accurate thermometer of some sort. Sight gauge is optional. Don't mount yours like mine. Mine's in line with the valve, and that screws up my readings whenever the valve is open and there's water in it. So, don't do what I did, but if you want to, I guess that's okay too. So, your hot water goes into your mash tun. I'm talking about all grain setups. I've never brewed extract. I use a dry extract for some of my starters, my yeast cultures, but other than that, I got no use for sugar water from a store. So if you're brewing a kit, that might even be a good spot to start, just to get you through using sanitation methods and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. You might be able to make something pretty drinkable. Some of those kits have been kind to me in my younger years. So with an all grain setup, you're gonna either have crushed grain or freshly malted grain that you're gonna crush yourself into a vessel somewhat like this. If you're brewing in a bag, I might, you know what, I've never brewed in a bag. I might make a setup, because I already have pots and stuff. I might just try that and make a video series about it, so we can learn together. Main idea behind a mash tun is a false bottom. An insulated cooler or vessel of some sort, or even a vessel with some sort of heater in it to maintain a temperature for mashing, which is the conversion of starches, grain starches, to sugars, simple sugars that are fermentable, which gets you to the fun part of the beer, the alcohol. So, get a good insulated cooler if you're going to make one. There are options online, kits, and pre-made ones that you can buy. Most cost-efficient option I found was making my own, which was fairly simple, just time-consuming and a little bit of research. But I'll take you through that in another video. Next, you're going to want to boil your wort, which comes out of your mash tun. Once it's converted, it's called wort. I have a 30-gallon setup, so I could technically put 30 gallons in here and boil it. When you're boiling your wort, that's when you're going to add your hops additions and any kind of flavoring you want other than what you're going to put in your fermenter. So oak chips or dry hopping, or there's a number of things you can do to the beer while it's fermenting to change the flavor or add flavors. You're going to want to cool that wort once it's boiled for your set amount of time. I normally boil for about an hour, depending on the recipe. Sometimes longer, but generally about minimum an hour of boiling. That will give you your bitterness from your hops, and it will make sure all the bacteria is killed. You'll boil off some volume, so you'll increase your original gravity. Once it's boiled, you want to cool it down, so you're going to need a chiller. I made that chiller out of copper I got from the hardware store. Much cheaper option than buying one commercially. They're not too hard to make. Yeah, it doesn't look pretty, but you know what? It works like a charm. It's just some hose clamps, some vinyl tubing, and some copper tubing there. So once you get the wort out and it's cool, you got to put it in something and ferment it. So at that point, you're gonna have to choose a fermenter. I use these buckets, the food grade plastic, yada yada yada. You know, it doesn't matter what you're fermenting. These ones are just cost effective. That's why I use them. Most bang for my buck. I'm going to get some glass carboys, but I'm also going to get some conicals, probably stainless steel at some point. Everybody wants shiny stainless steel equipment, of course, because it's the tits. If you're going to be grinding your own grain, you need some sort of mill. This is my mill. It's a drill powered, yada yada yada. You can get hand crank ones, but if you're brewing anything higher than 5 gallons at a time, you're going to have a sore arm. Or you're going to have to buy crushed grain, which might not be a bad idea because it's fairly dusty and messy. So again, if you're brewing in your kitchen, you might want to stay away from that. This is a yeast starter colony on a magnetic stir plate. I'll turn it on, and it clicks away. It just chooches there for a while. That's a healthy wit yeast. I started that yesterday, and I'm going to scale it up a little bit. I'm going to turn it off so it doesn't bug us. But I'm going to scale it up again, add some more primordial wort, I like to call it. Just a low gravity wort so it doesn't stress the yeast out. Grow that culture a little bit bigger so I can brew with it tomorrow. Oh, what else is there? There's some general equipment you'll need. You need a hydrometer. You don't need it, but if you want to know how much booze you're drinking, it's a good idea to have. Sanitation's a big thing. I got a big jug of Star San there. And some other little things you'll need, like scoops and scales and all that other stuff. A lot of the homebrew stores will give you a little bit more, just so you don't feel like you're getting ripped off. But a good gram scale is good to have, and a good pound scale. I got like a suitcase scale for my grain, and I could just hang a bucket off of there, weigh out almost 30 pounds of grain at a time, and it's fairly accurate, which is nice. So, I don't know. Don't sink too much money into it unless you know you want to do it, because it'll get expensive, and I don't think you get much money back for this kind of stuff. As far as used equipment, you'll never get what you paid for it, so make the investment if you want to. If you don't, I don't know, you can just keep watching for fun. But best of luck to you guys in your brewing. If you want to keep watching my videos, thank you. Like and subscribe if you want to support me. I'm trying to get my commercial license in on Terrible. And that's a pain in the butt. And it's expensive. And I probably can't use all of this stuff because I'm going to have to brew out of somewhere commercially. And this is in my basement. So, thanks for watching. I'll talk soon. Bye-bye.